So today I've come back to the Lake District in the northwest of England. The reason I'm here is obviously to see another bothy, but this is a bothy that I attempted to find earlier in the year and couldn't find it. I was looking in completely the wrong place. Luckily there was another bothy up there called Dub's Hut, which turned out to be very lovely, and I stayed there instead, had the place to myself, had a beautiful clear night. It was absolutely amazing, so it wasn't a complete fail. But I am determined to find this place. I've had a look at satellite images. I've got a much clearer idea of where this place is now. I've got to keep my eyes peeled for a little track that veers off of this one to the right, goes over a wooden bridge on the other side of that stream down there. There was some very heavy rains for the last 48 hours. Everywhere is quite flooded. So yeah, I've been so lucky the day I picked that it's turned out like this. Here's the track. And the bridge is just there. You can just about see some people standing on it. And I've got to follow that track up there that kind of runs alongside the stream coming down. And it looks like it gets very, very steep. So it's going to be pretty hard work, I think, especially with this backpack on. It's about 22.5 kilos today. But I've got my trekking poles. They should help. The ground is getting quite boggy there, as you can see. Hopefully it's not too boggy up there. But yeah, the sun is just about coming over the top of the hill there. And I'm about to walk into the shadow. Look how beautiful that is. So I've come across the bridge. Look at this. This is where it starts going up. I can't see the bothy yet through my spotter, so I think it's kind of hidden at the moment, but it may just pop out of me when I'm right on top of it, because like I said, it blends in with its background, so it's kind of a stealth bothy, this one, very well hidden. I've just come from up there. It's all very loose, water's running through it in places, and yeah, I've got to go up there now. Okay, I've just stopped for my first break. I felt really strong today, much stronger than my last hill climb in this area. I've only just taken my pack off. Even when I stopped to film and stuff, I still had the pack on earlier. So yeah, I've just reached this rock here, and that is the waterfall that you could see from down there in the valley. So I'm level with that now. I think I've pretty much only just got to go up here a little ways, and the bothy should be up there, should be in my line of sight now. I just can't see it at the moment. There were a couple of hikers just now that were on their way down, and they were taking pictures of it and trying to help me find it by zooming in and stuff. We just couldn't see it. So yeah, I'm going to really have to stumble across this one, I think. By the way, the hikers were called Sarah and Christina. Hopefully they'll find the video and pop up in my comments at some point. Okay, the terrain is definitely getting harder now. It's much less of a track and more just rocks. Yeah, I think I'm going to start struggling soon. I really hope I find the bothy. I still can't see it. Honestly, it blends in so well. Got a little friend there. It's funny, all the sheep around here have got grey fleece. I noticed that last time I was in this part of the world. It's quite a nice grey as well. Absolutely beautiful view. Well, you've really got to keep checking where you are in places like this. The trouble is, because this path does carry on to a point before it becomes loose scree, it gives you the impression that's the way to go. Sort of throws you off, to be honest. But yeah, I think I've just got to get across here, and you can see there's another trail there that goes up the other side of that hill. Okay, so I've backtracked again. It really did look like that was the trail, but I actually think that it's up there. I think that's the way you're supposed to go. I've got back to what looks like a trail, thank goodness. When you get to this point, you cross the river there. Don't go down where it looks like the grass is making some kind of track. That's obviously just where the sheep graze. You've got to come up the rocks a little bit here, and when you get to this big rock here, it opens up and you can see the track again. Okay, I can see the bothy finally. I don't know if I can point to it. Just about there, just over the hill there, a little bit further to go. Oh my god, that was hard work. I made it. I haven't walked over to the bothy just yet because there's a guy up there who's doing some filming. I don't want to get in his way. Of course, somebody's there. Don't know whether he's staying or whether he's just doing some filming, but I'll find out in a minute. There's the bothy, finally. Anyway, let's go and have a look. How did anyone live here? I know I say it all the time, but it's just unbelievable. So yeah, you got this, what must have been another room at one point, and then you've got a kind of a archway to get through to what I guess must have been another room at one point. I'm having to duck right down to get my rucksack underneath. It's very, very low. And then there we go. This is so cool. I have no idea what that says, but I'll have to look that up. Anyway, let's go and have a look inside. Wow. Oh dear. I've got to take my pack off. I can't get through the little low door. I had to get on my hands and knees to get through this first archway. Look, it's so much lower than me. Right, get this off. I'm going to have to drag it through. There we go. Well, it definitely is small. It is definitely on the cosy side, that's for sure. But we found it, thank goodness. Oh, that is your view from the window. That's unbelievable. How about that, folks? One of those fat little wood burners again. You see that in pretty much most of the Bothys. A whole selection of stuff that people have left. More mice food. There is actually another window. Oh, that one must have been purely just to let some morning sun in. So just as I was looking out the window, a guy popped his head through the door, and it wasn't the one who was already here. It was another guy who just came to have a look out the view of the window because it's, you know, such a famous view. And he's just staying in the tent up on the top there. So we've just been chatting about how we, you know, struggled to find the place. He came from Honister and he managed to find it in the end, so he was lucky. Very disappointing. The wood burner, I'm not going to be able to use it. I didn't even notice at first, but the flue is completely open. So I'm not going to be able to burn anything in there because it's just going to smoke the place out. And when I looked inside, people have chucked a load of rubbish in there. There's a bag of rubbish down there as well. And to be honest, the rubbish does smell a bit. I think there's like food stuff in them, so I'm gonna put that outside because it smells a bit in here, to be honest. And I'm gonna try and air the place out a little bit before I settle down. This is the most difficult floor to clean in a bothy I've ever come across. Okay, so I've had a bit of a sweep around, but it's a difficult floor to sweep because it's such uneven stones in here. I mean, look at that. There's basically just earth in between all of the gaps here. But there was also a really horrible smell of rotten food in here because someone had left their rubbish and there was open tins that hadn't been washed out. And basically the contents were beginning to smell bad. So I've had to put that outside. Luckily, this window actually opens, so you are able to get some air through the building. Quite a lot of Bothys, the windows do not open, so that's really, really handy. And I have also found the missing piece in the flue. The kind of ash rocker in the middle there has fallen down in the middle and the drawer wouldn't close, but I've emptied out completely everything that was behind there. The drawer closes all the way now. I've managed to relocate the ash rocker into the slot at the back there. I shall check it out later. If it looks dangerous and it's too smoky, then obviously I'm going to have to try and put it out and not use it. But it's a lot better than it was when I first got here, so we'll see. Now I'm just setting up, ready to cook. I have washed my hands, by the way, don't worry about that. So I'm literally just going to do some tomato and chili pasta with some tuna chunks. Bit of cheese on top as well, so it's not too bland. So yeah, nice and simple. It's getting late now, I'm very hungry. But look at this, I had to stop and just show you this. The sun is just about to set and you've got a lovely orange glow on the horizon there. That is so, so pretty. So I've just been chatting to my friend Andrew, who's camping up on the ridge there, and he's just popped in here to make some food. I've made some too. It's looking very, very tasty. So yeah, he just wanted to say hello. This is Andrew. Hi. But yeah, I'm not gonna make him talk or anything like that. So yeah, I just wanted you guys to see him. Okay, so it's just gone 10:30. Andrew's just gone back to his tent. He's only on the ridge over there. He's not far away, but I'm surprised he'd rather sleep out there than in here. But he said that he'd find it quite creepy. So and I'd be like, well, I'd rather sleep in here than out there in a tent. But there you go. Each to their own. Yeah, we had a really good chat for the last few hours, and then we went out and looked at the stars. Got some beautiful shots of the night sky. Fantastic. Never seen so many stars in this country, at least. But anyway, as a result of chatting and looking at stars, etc., I have not actually got around to setting my bed up yet. So yeah, I'm gonna have to do that now because it's getting late. I'm getting tired, to be honest. I'm gonna get a log in the fire, light some candles, try and make it as cozy as possible, and see if I can get some sleep tonight. Because tomorrow I'm going on to another bothy. So despite rebuilding the fire earlier, it's not great, to be honest. Loads of gaps around the door, you can't close it any more than that. You can see holes in the back of the flue there, the lights reflecting on the wall. The smoke is definitely coming out of the chimney. Anyway, while we're out here, I might as well have a little look around the bothy by torchlight. Duck under this little doorway. Here's the kind of end room in the house. There is the bothy by torchlight. Incredible, really. Can't believe anyone lived here. And I kind of can't believe that I'm going to stay here tonight. But at least I know that Andrew is out there on the hill in his tent, not too far away. Oh dear. I've just seen a little mouse. Honestly, what is it with me and mice just lately? That's so funny. So, there are definitely mice in here, at least one. And this one is definitely going to be able to climb onto where I was going to sleep, which is not good. So I was going to sleep on that platform because it's more solid. It's not going to rock around. The ones that pull out are not very stable on this floor because it's so uneven. However, I'm thinking now that I would rather be in the middle of the floor than anywhere near these walls and shelves because the mice can actually get up onto the platform. Okay, so I've just realised there is a carbon monoxide alarm just up there on the beam right above the wood stove. And I did just see the power light flash, so it's working. And it hasn't gone off, so it must be fine in here. And I did go outside for a good 5 minutes and I got a lovely shot of what I think is Andrew's tent up on the ridge there with his torch on inside. It's really cool. But anyway, when I came back in, I couldn't smell any smoke, so I think it's safe in here. But I'm still not going to burn any other logs after this one. That's it, until the morning. I did light a candle while my light was charging, but it's up and running again. Got some nice fairy lights on the ceiling that someone's left. Fairy lights look especially nice when all the other lights are off. It's just comforting, I find. The bench that was against the back wall there, I've pulled into the middle of the floor, so there's nothing around it, and hopefully less chance of the mouse crawling on me. It's not a foolproof plan. I'm sure it can still get up there, but hopefully it'll leave me alone if I'm not against the walls. I am definitely going to set my trail cam up and see how many mice I can catch this time. I've already seen one with my naked eyes, so there are mice in here for sure. It's so late, I really did not intend to stay up until nearly midnight, but that's what it is. And if I want to get a good night's sleep tonight, I'm going to have to get in bed. So I'm going to set the trail cam up. If anything happens in the night, I will turn the camera back on and let you know, of course. But I'm going to try my best to get at least 6 hours sleep before the sun comes up. So, good night. Probably up there. The mouse keeps waking me up. Keep hearing all that scraping and scratching. What is he trying to eat? No, I didn't notice that. Yeah, the sound did sound like scraping on cardboard. I think he's trying to get these cheese melts, the little bugger, but I can't sleep with him scraping like that every 15-20 minutes or whatever it's been. I just about start nodding off and then that happens, so yeah, I can't be doing that. Cheese melts are going to have to go outside. Morning, it's 6:30. The sun's due up in about half an hour, but it's going to come up behind those peaks in front of me there, so it's probably not going to come up above those peaks for at least another hour or so. But you can see just on the peaks behind me there, light is just about touching the tops of them. I've got the fire going in the Bothy now. You might be able to see some smoke from the chimney. But it was a very, very cold night in the end, and it's not a very warm morning either, so I'm so glad I brought this thick coat with me. So, did I sleep well? Of course not. I wasn't laying down for very long, drifting in and out. I was yawning, I was so tired, and then all that scraping noise started in the corner of the room. But I was convinced that I had only left cans and a bottle of water there. As it turned out, on closer inspection, there was an open box of kind of cheesy biscuits behind the bottle of water that I hadn't noticed earlier. And yeah, blooming mouse was in that every sort of 10 to 15 minutes. And it was full of mouse droppings inside the box as well. But once I hid those cheesy biscuits, it was much quieter in there. I heard a little bit of noise every now and again. I wasn't aware that I was, dreaming as such, but the time did pass quite quickly. So I think I was drifting in and out of sleep for about 6 hours. So I don't think it was a sleepless night, but it wasn't the best night, that's for sure. I never like to miss a sun up. Even though I'm not going to see it come over the horizon this morning, I am going to see it illuminate the background behind me, which is, already very, very beautiful. So that's why I'm up already. So that wasn't a bad time lapse. I was never going to get the sun actually rising. It's probably going to be a good while yet before it comes right up over the hills. I left that running for an hour while I cleaned up in there, had some breakfast, etc. So yeah, but still very pretty. And I hope you liked it. So there is a poster on the wall that explains a bit of the history of this place. I was right, it was built in 1750-ish as a quarry cottage for the workers in the mine here. There was a slate mine here. So it wasn't exactly somewhere where like a family lived or something like that. It was basically somewhere for the workers to live. Hello. So I did see Andrew's tent last night in the dark because he had a light on in there. But seeing it in the daylight now, I can't believe where he's pitched his tent. It looks very precarious. He's literally, I don't know if you can see, perched right on top of that peak there. Maybe it's, flatter and more secure looking when you're up there, but from down here, it looks like he's right on the edge. Okay. I've left the Bothy. I didn't have a chance to do my usual goodbye Bothy, etc. because Andrew was still there. I've ended up leaving a lot later because we were chatting again for a few hours. I've still got to get on to my next destination before dark, so I just had to get going basically. Okay, last time I was up here for Dub's Hut, I was surprised by some military jets flying through the valley here, and on my descent we've got some more. Don't know if you can see that. Just flying through the valley on the other side of the hill there. So loud. whatever your thoughts are on, you know, their reason for being, they are impressive machines to witness in real life. But anyway, I'm really glad that I finally found Warnscale Bothy. The terrain, as always, surprised me, but it was a nice little Bothy. I'm glad I ticked it off of the list. It was nice to meet Andrew as well. He was great company last night, and also I really enjoyed meeting the people on the hike up here as well. They were really nice, and hopefully they'll appear in my comments at some point. But anyway, if you enjoyed my night at Warnscale Head Bothy, then please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to help support the channel, then you can also become a member. Just go to my homepage, you'll see a join button next to the subscribe button, and it'll give you all the details. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Okay, I left the Lake District so late that I've not been able to make it to my destination before it got dark. This is what I'm surrounded by. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to stop here and sleep in the car. I'm just miles away from where I wanted to be.